thing you're going to need when you get your camera is software. Now the Nikon does come with some software, lets you import RAW, and I recommend you get into the habit of shooting what they call in RAW format as opposed to JPEG. JPEG is the format that your snapshot cameras mostly use. There are some out there apparently that do use RAW, but commonly they use JPEG. Your DSLRs will give you the option. Get used to shooting in RAW. That means you import it. You're going to have to import it anyway, and you have it's much easier to correct things. It also saves the information. I don't know if it does this in JPEG. It may not. But in RAW, it definitely saves all the information of all your settings, so you can go back and look at it in the software, and it'll say what your aperture was, what your shutter speed was, what your ISO was, all that thing, so you can go back, and that's kind of nice. But the main thing is it gives you much more flexibility in editing. In terms of editing, you can do some. I know the software that comes with my camera will let you do some. I'm personally using Photoshop Elements. I was able to get it on a sale for about $40 or $50. You can go free with Picasa, and that's a free editing software. I think they're Picasa 3, and it will handle RAW images. There's also GIMP. GIMP, you need a plug-in to handle RAW images, but they're free and they have a lot of features, so if you don't want to spend money right away, that's a good way to go. Of course, you can go a step up from Photoshop Elements is Lightroom, which is used by a lot of professionals. I may eventually switch to that. I'm taking a workshop this summer, and I know we're going to do a post. Post is post-processing after you bring the camera home, get the camera home and you plug it into your computer. What do you do with the image? So you have to import it, you may do some corrections on it, and then you export it to a format, whatever format you're gonna be using it in. And we're going to be doing that in Lightroom, and I know that's very strong in organization. I think it has some more editing features than Photoshop Elements, I believe. So that's another option. You'll probably find it on sale for $150. So that's another option. And of course, if you want to spend a lot of money and get all the features, you can go to the full-fledged Adobe Photoshop. I think it's CS5 now. And that'll give you a lot of features, but it's also $600. And depending on what you want to do, I think for most beginners that's a little overkill. So that's the type of software you got to think of. But now you got your camera home, and you want to take full advantage of it. You don't want to spend $1,000 for a setup for a camera, and then use it like a put it on auto and use it pretty much how you used your old snapshot camera. So there are some good references out there. I want to talk about some sites. One of my favorites is Jared Poland's site called Fro Knows Photo. Mr. Poland does some excellent tutorials. He also does a bunch of fun stuff. He also does photo critiques. If you go on his website, you could. So in essence, he provides exercises for you to hone your skills. New to photo, these gentlemen are out of the UK, and they do a very nice job with the basics as well in their tutorials. They also have a website. They're also on, all the social media. Adam Lerner is a friend of Mr. Poland's. He also does some nice work. He does a lot of critiques. He's one, and Photo Extremist is someone I just discovered. He's I guess he's high school, college age fellow who does some nice tutorials on the basics. So he's another one who who you can find videos on YouTube. These are all on YouTube. They'll go over the basics. Another person I'd like to mention is phototips.biz. There's a gentleman out of Oklahoma who does a weekly video cast. He has a website, and he talks about a lot of good stuff. I would look at his site. He also has, I believe, a video tutorial that you can purchase, about 3 hours long. I think it's $25. Mr. Poland is also doing a video book type thing that we'll be hearing more about. In terms of books, the one that I got that I like is Complete Digital Photography by Ben Long. I like it. A very popular book that I've looked at and I really haven't read, but it has some good tips. It seems to focus a lot on like various types of photography, you know, macro photography, sports photography, wedding photography. But this is done by Scott Kelby, who is also does a video cast on Photoshop. So he's a very good teacher. And his books, his series of 3 books, and there's a 4th coming out, are very popular. And those are 2 good references to get started. So if you're starting out, good luck. I hope my experience in the last few weeks has been helpful to you. And you know, take a lot of pictures, watch the videos, take some more pictures, and good luck.